Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to your beginning of January 2021 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. Happy New Year. I hope everyone has been having a great New Year. As a fellow Sag, I certainly notice an upturn in energy even as early as mid um, November in my life, and definitely in December. And when Jupiter and Saturn left the sign of Capricorn, that was the third house. The second house of earned income for us. So I wonder if you saw some kind of money coming to you in December when they were leaving their respective transits in Capricorn. Now we can see that we're going to have a new moon on the 13th of January. And I think, come to think of it, it might even be the 12th where I am. So it depends on where you live. It might be late at night on the 12th. I'll have to double check that. So in any case, this is at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So more triggers to this money sector. I'm looking forward to that as well. So let's see what the cards say. If we get a lot of pentacles, you'll know that that is probably going to be an area that is featured. Pick an additional card. Okay, there's my pentacles. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Lover's card, and the Lover's card is also connected to, Gemini, which is the opposite sign of Sag. And, beyond the typical possible influence of some kind of love situation, and perhaps wondering if you should become intimate with this person. And I'm not just talking hubba hubba, I'm talking also just emotionally really let this person into your life. This is also a card of a choice. So maybe there is something where you're kind of on the fence about what you want to do. I actually have a couple of cards here that might indicate this. Now, the interesting thing about this is it doesn't have to be some kind of a major fork in the road necessarily. It might be, if you, let's say, the type of work that you're doing, the kind of business that you have, are you going to do things the same way? Because we have the Queen of Swords in the prior position or the past position. So sometimes this can be someone who is trying to keep their feelings out of things and be very cerebral about it. And so if this is a relationship issue, that can even be a protective device. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is a good thing to do. But I mean, I could go there and say, hey, maybe this is a situation where you have started some kind of an affair with somebody, and it's prompting you to say, hey, I'm having problems in my primary relationship. That's why this is occurring in the first place. What can I do about this? I need to do something. I need to make a decision here. This can't, go on forever. I don't want to be a deceptive person, and so on and so forth. So if it is like relationship oriented, I said relationship, um, it might be something along those lines. But the other thing too is because I want to also talk about people who have businesses, or maybe they have jobs and they have these other plans cooking for their own independent thing that's their own baby. Oh, I'm noticing kind of like this flashing. I wonder what that's all about. But if that's something that you're dealing with, one thing I would say with business matters is that the lover's card could be a partnership. So teaming up with somebody. And, I look at the card for the higher message, and we have the emperor. And the emperor is about control and is about law and order, number four. But number four is in numerology connected to Saturn. So sometimes this can be a situation where perhaps you're in this place where you don't feel like you are good at taking care of details and you want somebody else to be that backbone, if you will. And being able to admit that to yourself is really important because it might help you immensely to get to that next level of success. I'm just like looking at it for myself because neither of those meanings has any kind of like significance in my life, but maybe it's not meant for every Sag, so maybe I shouldn't try too hard. Um, I think that anyone who has a relationship with someone, you can always create that deep bond more and more, and not take each other for granted. Spend quality time with each other where there's no distractions, where you are really connecting deeply. I mean, even eye gazing, that sounds a little bit, woo woo or something like that. But there's, I don't know like exactly the spiritual significance of it, but I think it's like, the eyes are the window of the soul and you're looking into them and you're really trying to see that other person at a deep level and merge with them energetically. That idea that you're not just kind of looking up from your phone or, you have this divided attention too. So for some of you, this may be like commitment issues. And the emperor can even be this idea of the, the law and order aspect, put a ring on it, that makes it legitimate. But does it? Does that really make it legitimate? Is that going to mean that the two of you are emotionally bonded? Um, and the thing is like if you were judging me because I was just talking about an affair, like, hey, it's no big deal. I talk about those kinds of things not to just act like it's no big deal, but that they do happen sometimes, and people, feel bad about it. But the emperor would be saying that perhaps that person that is your primary relationship, they're not someone who has the ability to look at you as a an individual, like you're just the person that they are controlling. And that's how a narcissist or a related type of individual views their partner. They don't see them as an individual with their own opinions and maybe dreams and things like that. They're just kind of a pale reflection on the emperor. The emperor can also be legal developments or a judge or something like that. This is the higher message. So I'm really not looking at it from the mundane perspective, but just saying that sometimes people come into your life, maybe they're a catalyst for showing you what is wrong in that relationship that you have. Perhaps the lover is more attentive, is more appreciative than the person who is there and has been there for a long time, but is more into the control and more. And because they're into the control, they're not going to give you that sense of you being okay. They want to kind of like make you feel like you're inferior, even. What crosses you is the Queen of Wands. Now, this is a card that is connected to Sagittarius. So it means that you don't feel this sense of empowerment. Perhaps if you are in a relationship with somebody, the Emperor, that can also be you married your father, if you had an authoritarian father, and and also that he is um, playing out that role of the authority figure. So that's something, these are the types of people, they may even gravitate towards professions that are like that, law and order professions, like being a cop, like being like a soldier, where they have that kind of power in a sense, or even any kind of supervisory position. And they can feel like this sense of power, even though it's on a very limited scale, and they apply it to their relationships. And people who do that, they're not looking, like I said, they're not looking at their partner as an individual. They don't have that kind of respect for their partner in that way. And as such, um, you really run the risk of being with this person, kind of replaying something that may have happened earlier on in your life, where you were with a parent who was very controlling, and that puts you in that disempowered position. So, looking at these things that have taken place, maybe that is your choice that you have to make. Maybe you're not having an affair, but you just have a choice to make in that area. What's coming in is the Four of Swords. So this can be, if you're married, a separation, but it might be that you need to get your head straight. You need to like sort out your thoughts. The number four, isn't that interesting? We have two fours here with the Emperor and this card, is getting your thoughts in order. And this is done through reflection. This is done through physical rest. And so you might be living somewhere else, or if you live in under the same roof, you spend more time alone, and you're not like trying to gain this person's attention. If they're always distracted, you get to the point now where you are letting them do their own thing because you're going to do your own thing, and you're going to try to figure things out. And that means that you'll probably have to have a certain amount of solitude in order to really make that happen. Um, the outcome, and I did pick an additional card because this doesn't, it's another four. Isn't that funny? 2020 was a four universal year. It's a number of restriction because it's Saturn's number. So there can be something lacking. There can be something that is withheld. The number four in this particular case is with the cups, which is the emotions. You see the cloud, which can represent the universe or any person that is symbolizing, the universe presenting you with something. And the individual has a blank expression. They're not impressed with whatever that person is offering. They feel that sense of maybe disinterest in the whole thing. And this can be because they have been, their heart has already been torn out by this person's neglect, by this person's control. And Sag is, that we tend to be very flexible. We tend to be tolerant to a certain degree, even if we're in a situation that isn't ideal. But just like everything else, there comes a time when you're finally done. And that can mean that you just have no interest in making things happen anymore. And so you might have gotten to that place, and that might be your decision, is like knowing that that's how you feel towards this person. You no longer have this desire to make it work out. And so I picked an additional card, and I got the Ace of Pentacles. You see the portal. Aces are beginnings, and so hence this portal. Now, typically we would say a new job, maybe a financial windfall, and certainly with this energy leading to the middle of the month, with the new moon in your relationship sector, there's a notification from another phone there, um, that can speak on those issues, but also um, maybe this is more just you focusing in on practical matters at this time, because you realize that you have done all you can in your relationship, and therefore you are not trying to make it work anymore. So maybe you did try to make it work at one time and you're not going to. Now, whether or not you're having an affair, I shouldn't have just made it sound like everybody's having an affair, because that's not going to be true. And actually, the Lover's card ultimately is a choice, and the Queen of Swords can be a choice too, coming out of perhaps a lot of emotional wrenching experience or experiences where you just, your heart and your head are in different places. So I like that the Ace of Pentacles, because I think of that new moon. That might be a timing card, that this is when things really get cooking, around the 12th, 13th. So, in any case, I hope that you enjoyed this, Sag. If you'd like a private reading, most of my readings are astrology readings. You can check the link below. Thank you. Bye.